Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and the 85th coffee stream. And Skep and I are back this morning, and so far, we have not had any roboting. So, yay! Let's hope it keeps going that way.
We are hopeful.
Yes.
We're cautiously hopeful.
Yes, cautiously hopeful. So I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Well, first of all, hello, chat. There's 9 of you already.
I see Rich is there, Mr. Misanthropic. Sarah
here.
Chadwick. Ryan is there. And who did it? Did I miss anybody? If I did. Oh, yeah, Chadwick. I wanted to ask Chadwick if he caught my reference yesterday when I called him Cousin Dupree. Chadwick, if you heard that, if you understand what that reference is, it is of course to the old Steely Dan song Cousin Dupree, and I just have always wanted to do that, and I saw you in chat, so I threw it out at you. Yeah, okay, you got it, didn't you? Very good. He says LOL. Okay, and Costin's here.
Oh, hi, Costin. Richo says it's quiet for him. Is anyone else here finding it quiet?
What do you mean quiet? Quiet. Well, quiet means the absence of sound. No, that's not what I meant. What do you
just mean? My YouTube sound was low. Okay.
Oh, okay. Is that me or you?
Richo was saying that the stream was quiet, but his YouTube volume was low, so
okay.
It was on his end.
Turn up your YouTube volume.
Yes.
It's technical. That'll be $150.
So, now that this is fixed,
maybe crossed fingers, knocking on wood. Don't jinx it. Don't talk too much about it.
I happened to be perusing the purveyor of cancer that is Facebook.
God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, I know, right? And I came across a post from somebody that I had met online like a year and a half ago, who and she's always very open about her life and everything. So she basically admits to never having a relationship that was non-abusive until she met her current boyfriend. Now, her current boyfriend made the mistake of saying that Trump and Obama were no better than each other.
Well, isn't that really an act of violence to say anything good about Trump? Isn't that really exactly the same as rape?
Yeah, it is. And then to go even further and to say that Bush wasn't a horrible president.
Oh, good God.
You know, so naturally she threatened to break up with him right then and there.
She should have killed him. She should have executed him.
Oh, I know, right?
Sure.
Like, despite the fact that this man is also the maintenance man of her trailer park and has, bent over backwards to make sure that her trailer is like up to date, and like he moved it for her, and he's constantly replacing her propane tanks for free.
But what is all that in the face of wrong speak?
Oh, I know, right? Like what? The bastard makes sure that her and her children are warm at night, and he dares to speak ill of Barack Obama and to say that
he wants her warm so he can rape her with words.
Yes.
Obviously.
Bush was kind of bad, though, yes, but he wasn't like. He wasn't.
That's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is how stupid this woman is being when she's finally got what appears to be a decent guy. He's got a political opinion that's different from hers, and she's going, I should break up with him because reasons.
She actually, in her post, she said, I told him, find different words. I don't love you that much. I have no time for foolishness. Besides, you're really letting your white privilege show, and I'm black and you're not, so you need to watch what you say.
Okay, I'm going to say have a little message for the guy right here.
Run,
Run away.
Yeah,
Run very away. Run fast, very away.
Yes.
Oh my God. This is like Nightmare Woman. I don't care what she's been through. To have your values so upside down. I mean, am I overreacting to that? It just seems crazy.
Yeah.
So you think it's crazy too?
Will Honorless says this is, like I said before, this is why I'm single. Yeah. I don't blame you.
I feel you.
Crazy, like why would you threaten to throw away a relationship on one statement?
Yes, exactly.
Especially with someone like, I you know, for a bit, you know, I've read about this crap on Twitter, and you know, you see Pose making fun of it, right? You know, but I never actually thought I would actually see it in my own newsfeed on Facebook, in my personal Facebook. It's like, wow. That was incredibly racist of you. Like, what the fuck? Like, had this been a white chick saying that about her black boyfriend, she would be like lynched
or something. I mean, you know, we YouTube, Susan, we're not.
Yeah, we're not promoting lynching. We do not. We disavow.
As Weibo would say, let the demonetization begin.
Yes.
Oh, Sir Ed's here, by the way. Adamantine's here.
Hello, Adamantine.
Let's see.
Your problem was going on Facebook. If it weren't for Messenger, I wouldn't even use it. Yeah, if I didn't have family that lived like 6 hours away from me,
yep,
I wouldn't have Facebook.
You know, Zuckerberg nuked my page.
Really?
I mean, I opened Facebook. I tried to log into Facebook, and it's like, you know, this page has been deleted. Now I'm like, what? It was just gone. All my pictures, all my conversations, everything gone.
Wow.
And you know why? Because I had been put in Twitter jail the day before. And they said that my conduct on other platforms was outside the bounds of the terms of service of Facebook.
Okay.
Which and I was posting back and forth between Facebook. It was actually my personal Facebook, my real name, my Frank name, and from Skeptalk, and they said, you know, Skeptalk is acting outside the bounds of Facebook's terms of service. You're toast. And they nuked my page. My page was gone. GONE gone.
Wow.
No further reason, no evident avenue of appeal. I had most of the stuff backed up. It wasn't the end of the world. I mean, a lot of people keep their lives on Facebook, you know, and they can really get screwed up. This kind of gets back to, did you see the video that the head guy from Patreon put on when he was explaining how cool it was to nuke Sargon and what a big responsibility it was and all that stuff?
I didn't see that, no.
The guy was creepy. It was like hearing a mass murderer talk about how cool it is to cut up the victim, sort of a thing. You know, he was almost drooling. He said, it's an awesome responsibility to remove a person's ability to make their livelihood. And this is a responsibility I take very seriously. Before I delete someone's, world and take all their money away from them.
Ding, 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 sociopath alert, sociopath alert.
Perfect. Exactly. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of digress into that and remind people out there that Patreon is still cancer. Facebook is cancer. Really, in point of fact, Twitter is cancer, even though that's where I do most of my thing.
Will says conduct on other platforms. That doesn't sound Orwellian at all.
No. What could possibly be the problem there?
No, right?
You know, I'm getting mad all over again.
Yeah, I heard about Monkey Jones, Chadwick.
Chest pains.
I don't really watch Monkey Jones, but I don't think that he should have had his channels taken
Tell me about
down.
Monkey Jones. What is this about?
So he covered a lot of the Elliot Rodgers stuff.
Oh, really? Okay.
And YouTube. So he did a test video because they were striking the crap out of his video, like just for everything. He would upload a video and he would just get struck.
He get community guidelines strikes?
Copyright strikes, guideline strikes, just anything they could think of.
Okay.
So he did a test video about his cat, and he just put the title, he didn't put Elliot Rodgers or anything. He just had just Elliot, the name Elliot, in the title. Put the video on private, so it had 0 views, and it got a guideline strike.
Really?
Yeah.
So did they nuke his channel?
They did, yep, and they nuked his he tried to create a couple of backup channels, and as soon as he did, they were nuked as well.
Well, I'm glad that they're guarding our morals so vigilantly.
Yeah, Mr. Misanthropic says he made videos mocking at Elliot Rodgers and his manifesto. Because apparently mocking psychopaths is promoting violence somehow.
Yes. Promoting violence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Promoting violence, yeah. He did a video, I think that was Monkey Jones, that did a video on, he was doing a stupid online quiz that said, that was called, "Are you a school shooter?"
Are you a school shooter? Really?
And that video got taken down for promoting violence, despite the fact that he was just answering the quiz questions. Not once did he say, yes, you should in fact go and slaughter people at a school. Like he did not once say anything to that nature. He was just answering, like, are you a loner? Do you think about hurting yourself? Are you stuff like just questions, right? Like psychological questions. He was answering them, and that was promoting violence.
Amazing.
Making fun of Nazis by getting your dog to raise its paw gets struck. So, says Will Honorless. Yeah.
Yeah, Will's not wrong. I mean, Dankula is courting jail.
Yes.
He's serious about not paying the fine, because this is a matter of pure principle. And Dankula is, he may come off as the stupid Scotsman. He kind of plays that, a little bit, but that's just a role. Dankula is smart as hell.
Oh, yeah.
And he is a student of history. He knows a lot about a lot of different things. And he realizes that this is one of those key turning points in history where he has a role to play. And by going to jail, by doing the hard thing, he realizes that he can really, truly bring this question out into the open, and he believes that daylight will sterilize it. And I think he's right. And I think he will be remembered as a hero long after, they won't remember anything about Dankula except what he did in defending free speech. And if it takes something like that to get the idiots who are in the British and Scottish governments to reconsider some of the nonsense that they, in this path they're walking down, where they think they can curate speech and, create a utopia where everybody speaks nicely and, Muslims are free to rape people. they're almost schizophrenic.
You know,
And
they
and
really
Dacula will
are.
be remembered forever as the hero who stood up to them and made them reconsider. If this makes any progress against them, then he is my hero. He could replace Nikki Haley as my spirit animal.
Yeah.
And yes, I know I stole that from Ben Shapiro.
It's fine.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying.
I'm intending to agree with you here. I think Dankula is wait, what? Sorry, I'm just getting some news articles queued up here. And Pinkalo sent me one that so I think that Dankula is definitely volunteering to be the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
And he's definitely thrown himself on the metaphorical sword.
Yep. I agree with you. I mean, seriously, we owe him a debt of gratitude.
I think so too, because he's just got married.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a lot of shit that he could be doing other than this.
That's true. You look at what he's done, and other people to a lesser degree, but in the same vein. I just looked at a tweet from Omegon, and he says, "Watching the House of Lords debate the definition of Islamophobia, racism seems to crop up a lot, along with protecting the communities. For fuck's sake!" And I know how frustrated he is that everybody's getting protected except the stabbing victims and the rape victims.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the radical imams can preach their hate and have people holding outdoor services where people are in prayer, blocking the sidewalk so people can't even walk there. That's all about asserting power.
Yep.
And showing England that England is not England anymore. Sorry, but that's just the truth. At least in some places. Not. I don't want to be over alarmist. Do you think I am? Do you think I'm overreacting?
No. I get into these arguments with people, especially like my mother, all the time. And every time I bring up these points, her argument is to just call me by my grandfather's name, because my grandfather can be like straight up a racist.
Right.
So her defense to what I'm saying is to just basically say that I'm acting just like my racist grandfather when I'm trying to bring up good point, like cogent points. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. You don't actually want to have this discussion.
So, Lines, what do you say to people who come up to you and say, you've got white privilege, you have internalized racism that you don't even know that you have? And it comes out in a million different tiny ways, many of them microaggressions, and some of them out and out racist behavior, whether you know it or not. Do you think unconscious racism is possible?
I think unconscious racism can be possible. But I don't think it
can. You give me an example of?
I don't think it's possible in the way that today's snowflakes.
Sorry about. I'm sorry about that. I'm in my living room.
It's all good.
There's external noises.
I don't think that there's unconscious racism the way that today's snowflakes would classify it. I think that perhaps it's like if you were raised by overt racists, but you genuinely didn't want to be that way, but
Right.
you like accidentally let like some colloquialism slip, or like do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're trying to break your pattern that you were taught, but you accidentally,
Yeah.
let something out or something like that. That I think is unconscious racism.
Okay, but by that definition, that's basically a mistake.
Yeah,
It's
that's
that
more of a
it's not something
mistake than.
not something that inside you have an internal motivation that you cannot recognize. It sounds to me like you don't believe in that. That if you can make a mistake, it can be accident, it can be a function of how you were brought up and maybe a speech pattern that you accidentally lapse into. But as far as having some secret thing lurking in your subconscious that makes you want to enslave black people, you're saying no.
I don't think you can like.
I know it's a good question.
It's hard. It's really hard. That's an interesting topic that I'd actually like to do like a whole, maybe a whole thing on.
We can put a pin in it and come back to it later.
Yeah, I think we should. But I've got a really interesting news story about a blind guy that wants to fly over the Atlantic Ocean in a hot air balloon.
Okay.
I thought that's what you would say.
I don't see any hazards there. Do you?
Oh yeah, I know, eh? It seems perfectly safe.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? Everything.
Yeah, I know, right?
Everything. The problem is not whether or not it's physically possible to do it. The problem is what happens when you have to go to plan B.
Yeah.
Lots of plan Bs require eyes. I'm sorry, that's just the way that Keck organized the world when it was creating it.
This is true.
The mat. So, go ahead.
Do you want? So here's how I figured we could do this.
Okay.
Maybe if I let the screen reader read the story, because I've gotten through all the links and crap.
Okay.
And then maybe like while I'm reading, because I unplug my headphones, maybe you mute, and then when I'm done, I unmute, or you unmute, and we talk about it. Does that work?
Sure. You want me to keep my mouth shut while you're reading?
Well,
that's fine.
No, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut too. I'm gonna let it read, and then we're gonna laugh and react at this crazy person.
Okay. All right. Go.
All right. Good. Cool. Ready?
Go.
All right.
Go.
Mike lost his sight 11 years ago, but had already completed 5 record-breaking flights.
So this guy's lost his sight 11 years ago. All right.
At the helm of this flight will be his partner and endurance athlete, Debbie. You are correct.
So his partner.
If successful, she will become the first woman to captain the 2,800-mile voyage.
Oh, double points! A blind dude and a woman. Yay! Okay, keep going.
If successful, Debbie will become the first woman balloon. Image. If successful, the pair will spend 5 to 10 days in an open basket at heights of more than 15,000 feet. They will face freezing temperatures and even a lack of oxygen. The adventure this July will raise money for Link, Blind Veterans UK. Period. The pair will face heights of more than 15,000. The pair will face the pair last updated Wednesday, Jan.
So that's a short story, and let's quickly talk about this craziness now. So these people are going to fly in an open basket. What do you think about that, Skep? They're going to fly for 10 days at 15,000 feet in an open basket. Think they can do it?
That's doable. When I used to jump out of airplanes, I frequently jumped at 11, 12, 13,000 feet. And the air temperature up there can be very, very cold, like -40, just the temperature, not wind chill, -40. And of course, that's both centigrade and Fahrenheit. Yeah. That's so this is already sounding bad to me. What do you think?
I think this seems like it's a worthy cause that they're raising money for, the Blind Veterans UK.
Sure.
I'm down with that. Veterans are often, doesn't matter what country you go to, veterans are often underfunded. So I would definitely, I think it's a great like a good cause, but I think that this is clearly maybe it's me being a cynical because of all of the bullshit virtue signaling I've seen, but like, do they have to put this in the news story that it's a blind guy and the first woman ever to captain such a voyage? Like, really? Do you need all of those virtue points all crammed in there into one little blurb? Like, just, it's his partner. She's an endurance athlete. They're going to raise money for this thing. Like, focus on what they're like, how the blind guy is adapting for this voyage. Like, tell the readers about that, because that's something I want. Like, as a blind person, I want to know how he's like what he's adapted and how he's adapted to fly, like help fly his hot air balloon. Like, that would be a cool piece of article. But instead, you got to focus on the virtue points. Like, okay, I don't get it. Maybe it's me being a cynical asshole. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think you're being cynical. The potential for loss of life is the hook that gets people into the story.
Yeah.
If they were just writing about somebody who is blind and has learned to fly a balloon and read the instruments and can figure out through GPS where they are, where they're going to land, and so forth, that's not a fascinating story. That's not going to get the attention that something like a blind person is about to risk their life. Can you imagine being in an open basket 15,000 feet above the churning Atlantic, where if you crash in there, it's certain death? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there was an aircraft carrier, 200 feet away from you. It's certain death. You simply will die of the shock and cold and all that stuff. So it's the risk, the fact that the person is going to use techniques that they've developed to fly a balloon, probably under mostly perfect conditions, and they're going into a very imperfect, very unsafe environment where they can get a wind out of the north, especially if they're going from the west to the east. They could get a surge of wind off the jet stream that will come down, and the secondary winds from the jet stream easily come down to 15, even 10,000 feet, and can 90-mile-an-hour wind on a balloon. I'm sorry, it's going to move you. It's going to move you rapidly. So there's a big chance of them not being able to react in time to change altitudes, basically in a balloon. I understand that that's how you control which way you're going to go. You don't like the way the wind is blowing at one altitude, you change your altitude.
Yeah.
But there's only so much you can do. I would be extremely concerned. It would be a lucky thing if this happened. If they landed, everybody would get the adrenaline rush, and but there's a pretty good likelihood that something would go wrong, particularly if they were not careful about what time of year to choose to do it.
They're going in July.
Yeah, that's probably about the best time. It's when the winds are going to be the lowest, and the most predictable, calmest. At least that's the way it is in the North Pacific. I got to know that when I was in the Navy. I didn't study weather patterns in the North Atlantic until except in school.
Somebody just said hitting the water at 32 feet per second is the same as hitting the ground. Yep.
Yeah, it is 32 feet per second squared, or 9.8 meters per second squared, is the acceleration rate. That's how fast you accelerate toward the Earth. So after 1 second of this acceleration, you're going 32 feet per second. Okay, but the problem is that terminal velocity, if you're flying through the air, if you're doing like a belly flop, if you're, horizontal in the air, is about 100 miles an hour. If you stand on your head, it's about 190 miles an hour.
I believe it.
If you hit the ground at 20 miles an hour, if you're in good shape and an athlete, there's about a 70% chance you will die. If you hit the ground at 20 miles an hour, okay, there's a 70% chance you'll die. Think about that for a moment.
Yeah.
And this is all stuff from the U.S. Parachute Association. All these statistics are out of there from my years ago skydiving career. There's just a million things that can go wrong here. I think this is a terrible idea.
I agree. I mean, I'm all for blind people doing awesome things, but
sure.
I mean, and yes, he's taking a sighted person with him, but I mean, this just seems like a phenomenally bad idea. Yeah,
it's the unpleasant side of Darwinism, I think, as much as anything. This is a Darwin Award waiting for a place to happen.
I think somebody read too much Jules Verne.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, this sounds like a bad idea from the jump. Just to add one reflection on this. People look for the cheap glory fix.
Yeah.
They want to do something very, very dangerous. It's the evil Knievel thing. Do something very dangerous and daring, and they come out of it. And there's several things that happen. When you do something like that, you are full of adrenaline from the worry. And then what happens is afterwards, you basically get a norepinephrine dump in your brain. You get this neurotransmitter that just gives you pleasure. It just, because the anxiety is gone, but you're still jacked up. And the hormone that comes out is floods the pleasure centers, and you get to cash in on this great feeling of accomplishment and relief of stress and all that kind of stuff. People want that more than they want to hear about somebody who spent 10 years working with the poor or working with substance abusers to try and help them along, help them have a better life, or educators who really educate, who really give of themselves, their time, and they're really treated like a calling. There's so many people doing that kind of heroism. That's what real heroism is. That's the stuff that really gets my attention and makes me want to stand up and applaud. Not some clown who has decided that, hey, I'm blind, but I'm going to fly across the Atlantic in a balloon, and if I make it, I'll have e-fame. And that's basically what they'll have. Too cynical?
I like this is kind of a tangent, but flying in a hot air balloon is fun.
Yes.
I've got to fly in one.
Did you get to fly in one?
Yeah. For my 13th birthday, I got to go up in a hot air balloon because my uncle and I used to tell each other, we used to make up bedtime stories.
Yeah.
About me and a bird, like a pet bird that talked. And the way that we got around was we flew in a hot air balloon in our stories. Mm-hmm. So eventually my uncle bought me a ride on a hot air balloon for my birthday to see what it was, to show me what it was actually like. It was really cool.
Was this around there where you live?
I got to do it in Ottawa, actually. So, because he lives up in Ottawa, so I did it up when I went to visit him.
So Ottawa's different from Toronto?
Yes.
Okay.
It is from where I live, which is about an hour west of Toronto. to Ottawa is about a 5.5 hour drive if you're driving at a good speed and you don't stop.
Okay, so it's significantly separated. You know, my geography of Canadian cities is not strong. It's not as you know. I know that Montreal's on the right and Vancouver's on the left, and Toronto's kind of in the middle. Look for the Great Lakes, and it's around there somewhere. And beyond that, oh, and there's a really cool city called Yellowknife that's way up north.
Yeah.
That's my Canadian geography. As far as I'm concerned, there are no other cities.
Well, this is stupid. Why is this not?
Well, that's just because I haven't studied it. I'm
yelling at my computer.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was stupid.
No. I'm yelling at my computer because
I can get that from my wife.
It's being
a turd.
I'm trying to read a story. I'm trying to get to a thing that Pinkalo sent me, but it's not letting me do that.
What's the story about?
So it's another blind person story.
Yeah.
It's about a blind woman who got yelled at by a bus passenger to get her, and I quote, fucking dog off the bus.
Okay, you're fucking, wow. Somebody didn't want to go to heaven.
Yeah.
That's just evil.
So now that I've fixed my computer's computing issue, I'm going to get back and find that story. I had to close the tab that I had open with the story.
Can you reopen you can reopen the tab. Oh,
of course I can.
Yeah.
Why didn't I do that? That's stupid. I hate when I do that. Instead of opening the last opened thing, I'm just like, oh, let me just go back and open all the other things that I had to do. It's like, really? Come on now, Blind Press.
Just relax. Take your time. While you're doing that, I'm just going to kind of check out chat and see what they're saying there. Let's see. Duck Dog says, my airborne pal had an old jump book of his I was looking through. After 5.5 seconds, the average hang time for a football, you have reached terminal velocity. Yes, that is right. It's the 5 second jump, 5 second free fall that you do. Usually, if you're proceeding normally through a first jump course, that'll be about your 10th to 12th jump if you're doing a good job. And after it is between 5 and 6 seconds, you reach terminal velocity for the horizontal position, for the lying down kind of position. And you're going as fast as you're going to go. And what you notice is that the air beneath you feels like a waterbed. And so it's got some give to it, but you can also push against it. And that's how you can cut turns and do loops and flips and stuff like that. At any rate, Duck Dog was making that point. And
I got to the story.
Good, go.
All right, here we go.
And capital A, link, disabled. Woman with a guide dog was stunned after a passenger told her to get her F***G dog off the bus.
F a fucking dog, because it's a newspaper, so it stars everything off.
Megan Taylor was on her first bus journey with her disability assistance and link, dog. Rolly when the woman came over to her.
The dog's name is Rolly. That's cute.
Link, Liverpool Echo reports that the 22-year-old, who suffers from episodic blindness, claims the woman shouted, "Why is there an F*** dog on the bus? Get it off."
Is she a Muslim woman? Sorry.
But when Megan tried to politely explain it was an assistance dog, she claims the woman called her a liar. Crane. Megan, her reason was because guide dogs are yellow Labradors and your dog is black. You are currently...
What the fuck?
Whoa. Wait a minute. That went by a little fast. What did she say?
She said you're lying. Guide dogs are only golden labs and your dog is black.
Oh my. Oh my.
What?
I don't even know what to say.
That's racist, says Sarah. Yes, that is incredibly racist. Holy shit.
You know, that may be not smart enough to be racist. Too stupid to be racist. That's just, you know, God, dogs are green and yours is blue. Really?
She says she decided at this point it wasn't worth trying to educate this woman. No, you're probably right. I instead chose to ignore her while she continued to talk nonsense.
Mr. Misanthropic says that's doggist.
Yes, doggist. It just goes into telling us about what her condition was.
Yeah. Interesting. You know, Duck Dog is continuing that thread on his friend, the parachutist. He said he hated jumping out of helicopters because it's like stepping off a ladder. There's no air cushion like airplane jumps. That is really very true. When you're going like 100 miles basically, and going forward in a Cessna 182, and you're jumping out of that, that's different from jumping out of like a hot air balloon, for example, where that's like jumping down a well, and there's much more a feeling of weightlessness in your stomach going through your shoes when you do that kind of a jump, as opposed to when you jump out of an airplane, you almost immediately start flying because you have the wind coming against you. You're actually slowing down a lot. You're slowing down a lot. You slow from 100 to 50 going forward in just a few seconds. But by then, you're starting to have the air build up under you from falling, and you can maneuver around that way. The time when I had my malfunction, I cut away from my parachute. That was like jumping down a well. I'll never forget how that felt. It can be a little alarming. You go right into free fall, and it's just like jumping out of a hot air balloon. There's no forward throw at all. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to get off into that, but it's just Duck Dog made that point.
So Richo says, retrievers can be black. This is damn racist, and it's only 2 a.m. LOL. He's an Aussie, so that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Sarah says, maybe that dog identified as a yellow lab. That lady just assumed the dog's color.
That's a good point. The dog may have identified as a person. Anybody ever think of that?
Oh, you added me to Discord, Richo? Sorry, I haven't. I have to go through and set up the roles still, but I will do that. Wait, an Atlanta passenger gets a gun through TSA and alerts officials in Japan that he still has it. Gunfox is putting these things in chat right now.
Wow. Atlanta passenger gets gun through TSA, alerts official in Japan. He still has it. I know the Japanese must have been excited about that.
Oh, yeah. That's something that the Japanese really want to hear. But by the way,
say hello to my little friend.
Yeah. Something tells me that he wouldn't get very far with the Japanese. I mean, I know that they got pretty demoralized, but I think that they could handle a guy with a gun.
Yeah.
So glad we have the TSA to keep us safe, says Sarah with her rolling eyes emoticon. Yeah. Sorry,
yes, Sarah.
Richo, I'm doing the rolls right now while I have my computer in front of me and I'm remembering.
Sarah says my yellow labs identify as people. Skip. I've had yellow labs like that. I've had a couple of
Don't
Actually,
most labs identify as people?
Yeah, I would say definitely.
Like seriously, most labs are just totally people. They think they're people. They act like they're people.
They're very loving dogs.
They
They're
are.
amazingly affectionate dogs. My number one dog, who I had all through high school and college, was a black lab named Blue,
Aw.
and Blue was an amazing dog. He was actually he was normal size, except he was a very muscular build. He almost had like a pit bull terrier's build, but like a giant pit bull terrier, and a big head with lots of sharp teeth.
Oh wow.
But he was just a big baby. He was friendly as a horsefly.
Aw.
He was nice. I miss my Blue. It was a great dog. Added a lot to our family.
Yeah, my dad's got he's got a lot of labs, or he's had a lot of labs in his life, but he's got right now a lab Samoyed cross,
Oh, that's fun.
and she's so fluffy.
Oh yeah, and
She's got
sweet too. I'll bet.
She is sweet, but she's so playful. Like she's such a playful pup, and she's a fluffy pup because she's got the Samoyed fluff,
Right.
but she's black.
Right.
So
Probably has the lab's undercoat too. Probably a good waterproof dog.
what are you doing, Discord? Come on.
Yeah, Sarah
right.
says, Skep, those are the English labs, bulkier labs with giant heads. That's what mine was. All of mine are that way. Though sadly, last week I had to put one of them down. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. You hate to see them go. And usually when you make that decision, it's the kindest thing you can do.
Yeah. But it sucks. Yeah. I've had to do that with a cat. I was 7, actually. And we had ended up babysitting or pet sitting someone's cat, of my mother's friend's cat. And she was very aggressive, very nasty, and she was always attacking me, and my cat was just trying to defend me.
Yeah.
And they actually got into a fight on the stairs one night.
A cat fight.
Yeah.
Nothing quite sounds like that.
No. And I was walking up the stairs when it happened, and one of them grabbed onto my legs.
Yeah.
And then they let go, and my cat ended up somersaulting down the stairs.
Oh wow.
And she didn't land on her feet. She ended up breaking her whole pelvis.
Yeah.
And we took her to the vet the next day, and the vet's like, well, we can do surgery on her and we can save her, but she'll basically have to be on pain medication for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And she will not she will be in incredible pain. She will basically have arthritis forever. And she was only 5.
Oh.
So
that hurts.
Didn't want her to have to be living, because cats live for a long time. I didn't want her to have to live like that. So
you were selfless, and you made a good decision.
So my mom was gonna try and she was ready to call family and ask for financial help for the surgery and everything.
Sure, get the GoFundMe going.
But I was like, no, we have to put her down. I don't want her to live like that.
Yep.
And that was my pet. Like, we were born, like she was 2 years younger than me. So she was born when I was a toddler, and she was my pet.
Yeah.
From the time she was born. So we grew up together. Yeah. So it was hard. And then when we got home, I told my mom, I'm like, you call your friend and you get that damn cat out of here. Because I don't want her around me.
Yeah. Oh,
she killed my cat, basically.
Yeah, that cat would disappear if it killed one of my animals.
And she actually ran outside and never came back.
I would help it run outside.
Yeah, Richo, I'm trying to get the roles sorted. My Discord was just being a dick, and so I'm trying not to let there be tons of dead air on stream right now. So as soon as I'm done with the stream, I will add the roles.
So you're doing some system maintenance on the on your Discord server?
No.
Or somebody else's?
Somebody wanted. Richo was gonna. I gave the server link out.
Okay.
But I haven't put roles in yet, like for Richo. So he
but
can't.
This is not on your server, right?
Yeah.
Or is it on your server?
It is on mine.
Okay, gotcha. Though, I mean, you made me kind of an administrator.
I did. That's true. You can do that.
I can help you with that. We'll take that up offline. We can get back to stream content now. If you want?
Oh, you have to pay a tax on your streamed games in Ohio, Will Honorless?
What? I would like to know more about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. What's with that, Will?
Have you heard anything about that plan?
Oh, on Steam games. Sorry. But still, you have to pay. So in Ohio, you have to pay taxes on Steam games, but not in California. How does that work? I'm very confused.
I'm calling that up now. Calling up an article about this. Since when did I have to pay taxes for Steam games in Ohio? This is kind of new to me since I never had to do this. For those who didn't know, Ohio never had to pay a tax for buying games on Steam. Today, I decided, oh, that's what it is. So you buy games on Steam. What they're doing is they're charging whatever the local sales tax is in Ohio. So when I went to check out, I noticed that there was a sales tax that I had to pay to get the game. I'm not complaining about this since I had no real issue with paying taxes. That's a well-trained sheeple there. Did this just get enforced today, November 1st, or was it something that happened during October? So evidently that just came into being. But that's an interesting thing. That's been a big challenge for municipalities. How do they get their tax revenue with people buying stuff online? And what essentially they've done that I've seen is they go to Amazon and say, we're going to put a lawsuit against you, saying, and maybe even a criminal charge, saying you're violating the law, not collecting a sales tax on stuff that you sell in our state, county, municipality, wherever the sales tax are, and without sending us a check for the sales tax revenue. It's illegal for you to sell that in our town. And I think at first Amazon was maintaining, hey, all those sales happen in, New Jersey or New York or wherever it is. And then probably that municipality said, it does, great. We want our sales tax. And, there's all of the Northeastern United States, there's sales tax all over the place. I mean, there's really sales tax all over the United States. And but they tend to be at the state and municipal level.
See, I find it very strange because sometimes when you buy things online, like on Amazon, you pay taxes.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
When you go and you buy an order on Amazon, you have to pay tax, whatever it might be for your state or your province or wherever the friggity frack you live.
Yeah.
You have to pay taxes.
Yep.
But when you're buying shit like music off of iTunes,
yeah,
or unless you're in Chicago, PlayStation games, like off of the store, online, you don't pay taxes.
Right.
So I find that a little confusing, and I don't understand why you pay taxes for some things and like, because like I said, I think that taxes are necessary. I don't think they need to be like Sweden's taxes, but we gotta pay for our roads and our infrastructure and all that shit somehow, right? So taxes, I think, are a necessary evil, but I don't understand why some things are sales taxed and why some things aren't.
Yeah, and I think what you would probably find is that the sales tax laws are consistent across the board as far as what they cover. You know, they're well enough written to be enforced. The problem is that they're not enforced. So there's two things going on. The company's not collecting the sales tax at the time of the transaction. They just say, you know, it's like me buying Ping Plotter day before yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a forever license for it for $39.95.
Nice.
And so I bought that. It didn't say anything about sales tax. Now, one of two things is going to happen. They will either impute a sales tax based on their revenue, okay,
Right.
and so they will back out, you know, whatever 7 or 8% of their income stream and forward that on as sales tax, or they'll just blow it off completely and just say, nope, you know, we'll wait till we get caught.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of companies are doing that.
I think so too. It's because they figure it's easier to ask forgiveness, right?
Right. or they'll stick their server, you know, in the Caymans or Morocco or something, you know, where there's absolutely no sales tax to be collected, and say, hey, you know, that's the point of sale. From our point of view, that's the point of sale. That's where we lose control of the product and you gain it, and that's where the money is exchanged. So, you know, too bad if you don't like it.
Maybe that's where AT&T's server was.
It's entirely possible. Speaking of, I'm glad you said that, because I was gonna do a clear targets, and I'm gonna do this, and what I'm doing is I'm running that again to see if that server, if that hop is still clear.
Chadwick says most roads are covered by lottery proceeds, apparently. That would probably make sense.
Yep. Okay, there's now enough data for me to report there's no packet loss at all.
Yay!
So very interesting. Yesterday it was like 95% packet loss. Seriously, there was a server in the AT&T group that was losing over 90% of the packets that came its way.
Well, that's a pretty useless server at that point.
Well done, lads.
Yes. Here, have this new router with all this awesome bandwidth, but we're still going to have a server with 95% data loss.
95% packet loss. I mean, I saved it as I saved all the data, and and I've got them in common delimited files if AT&T wants to look at it. But I can see that they've evidently taken action on their own. It's kind of cool to have had some impact like that.
That is cool, though. Like you reported it, and they hopped to it quite quickly.
Yeah, and I'm sure that when they come over, were there any changes made as a result of my call? No. There's been no changes in the infrastructure. Okay, I'm going to embarrass you because I can see it. I'm sitting here looking at it right now. Anyway, so that's pretty cool.
Duck Dog says Canada's 15% scares Americans. Most states are around 5%. So sales tax is not federal in Canada. It's provincial.
It's provincial, right? Yeah.
It does vary. The highest is 15%. The lowest is 6%.
But do you have city sales tax on top of that?
No.
Okay. See, that's what they do in the United States. They have, like a state sales tax, and then you'll have a city sales tax.
Yeah, hell no. You go anywhere in Ontario and sales tax is sales tax.
Interesting.
It's always 13%. Because we have the harmonized sales tax now.
Harmonized.
Yeah, we used to have to pay a goods and service tax, which was a federal thing, and a provincial sales tax, so the goods and service tax was 6%, I think. No,
really?
It was 7%. Yeah, it was 7%, and our provincial sales tax was 8%. So we ended up having to pay 15%. And then British Columbia decided to do some sort of harmonized sales tax, and Ontario went, "Oh, that's a great idea. Let's do that too."
Wow.
So now we have a harmonized sales tax, and we pay 13%. But some provinces, the rest of the country hasn't done that, and some provinces don't have a sales tax. Like Newfoundland does not have a provincial sales tax. So you only pay, you only pay the 6% GST in Newfoundland.
So why don't you move to Newfoundland?
Because there's no work. Because the fisheries are all fucked. And that was the...
how are they fucked? I'm just curious.
Because Stephen Harper put some pretty stringent regulations on them, and he was the guy before Trudeau.
Harper did?
Yeah, and he also...
was a conservative, wasn't he?
Yes, but he also allowed international fishing in Canadian water.
Beauty.
So basically, a whole bunch of Chinese and Portuguese people came and fished Newfoundland dry, and the Newfoundland fishermen were like, "Hi, what the fuck are we supposed to do?"
Yeah.
The unemployment rate in Canada is most high in Newfoundland.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I wonder what the unemployment rate in Newfoundland is. Unemployment rate in Newfoundland 2018 is 14.2%.
Yep, it's huge.
Hot damn. I mean, Prince Edward Island is 10.3, New Brunswick is 8.0, and Nova Scotia is 7.4. If you're looking at, like British Columbia is like 5%, less than 5%.
Yeah.
Ontario, Quebec are both at about 5%.
Yeah.
The national unemployment rate is about 6%, and that is also what Saskatchewan and Manitoba are. Alberta's about 7%, and anyway. So you're actually in great shape you need to get rid of Newfoundland and Labrador, and also Prince Edward Island. Just vote them off the Canada.
No, we can keep Prince Edward Island because it's a pretty place.
Is that a pretty place?
It is a pretty place.
I'll have to check it out.
I'd actually like to go there once.
Really?
Yeah, I'd like to go to Prince Edward Island.
What
in the summer.
Yeah, I was going to say you probably want to avoid it in the winter.
You think we get a lot of snow here?
Yeah, because they get the coastal snow, right?
Yep.
The ocean snow.
No, thank you. I am a weird Canadian. I hate the winter.
It's
get rid of Quebec as well.
Why?
I would Nova Scotia's fisheries are protected by American fishing companies.
Is that true?
Um,
Does that make any sense?
I don't know. Why is Newfoundland pronounced Newfoundland? It's pronounced like that by idiots.
Newfoundland. It's
You go, you say that to a Newfie and they'll punch you in the face. You say Newfoundland and you say Newfoundland and they will go and smack you. You just say Newfoundland.
Is that just like a cultural thing that they do? Just they hit you to say hello?
They're wonderful people, but don't piss them off because they have that Irish Scottish temper just boiling under the surface.
Okay. Now you just stereotyped.
I did.
You just stereotyped.
I'm half Scottish, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm half Scottish, half Italian, and half Irish.
Yeah, it's an interesting like, in our tax bracket, like other than sales tax, is dependent on how much you make. Right? There's no.
Your sales taxes?
No, our income tax.
Your income tax. I'm sorry, I misheard that. Okay.
It's definitely depends on what you make, and it doesn't even. I think for the richest bracket, I don't even think it cracks 30%. So a lot of people say that Canada has outrageous taxes. We really don't. Like, if you go in and you look at a country like Norway or Denmark or Sweden, those taxes are crazy. Yes, a lot of things are free, but still 75% tax. No, thank you.
Yeah. What is your motivation for getting out of bed and going to work in the morning when out of the next dollar you earn, 75 cents of that is going to go to the government? That's demotivating.
I don't know. People always, like, people like my mother are like, oh, well, but it's fine because you don't have to worry about hospital bills or university debt and I'm like, okay, but then what's the point of doing anything?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great that you don't have debt, but so you get to have disposable income and turn into an entitled, spoiled shitbag?
There's that possibility.
Because you have nothing to, like, be responsible for?
Exactly.
You have nothing to be responsible for because you pay Big Daddy government to do it for you. So let's blow all our money on stuff and not save for anything and not learn what it means to earn that vacation that you had to scrimp and save for because you also had to pay your student loan or your I don't think that living in a debt treadmill is necessarily a good idea either, right? But you need to. Humans need hardship, I think, or we stagnate.
I agree with you. I think that's a really good insight. Tell me how you arrived at that.
I think if we don't have, we don't necessarily need harrowing, horrible, trauma-inducing hardship, but our brains need a challenge to overcome, or else we will just sit there and get stupid and lazy, and we expect things to come to us. And I think that that's what I mean by we need hardship or we stagnate.
Yes. I happen to agree with you. I absolutely happen to agree with you.
Oh shit, breaking news update, says Gunfox.
It's the breaking news.
Armed man reportedly takes his ex-girlfriend and another person hostage
That's breaking news.
at NJUPS at a New Jersey UPS facility. Huh.
Somebody's going postal.
$800 a month on insurance, Chadwick. God damn. That is ouch. Your grandpa was racist, lol. He's gone postal, says Mr. Misanthropic. Well, perhaps. FBI and the police are both on scene, said Sarah. Check Discord or Twitter. Link was sent to you. Let us see.
Is that a link for that story? Is that what
Yeah.
you said? Okay.
If it's in Discord, it'll be in the coffee stream channel. Man, it must be a slow day for Pincalo. He's been sitting in his office this whole time.
Just sitting in his office?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's usually has to go by now, but now did he DM it to me? No. All right. It'll be in the server. Is this it?
I don't see it.
Let's see.
Of course, I'm not trying terribly hard to get that right now, but there. Okay. Close that. Open that.
Let's see here.
So far, we have not heard any roboting from me on the stream. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, I have not heard anything.
All right. Knocking on wood. No, don't start barking. That's just Daddy knocking on wood, being silly.
Yeah, Gunfox, I can't find it. Oh, it's a hate camel. Hello, hate camel.
Where's that story supposed to be taking place?
He said it was either on Twitter or on Discord, but I haven't gotten a Twitter notification and I haven't found it on Discord either. Can you throw it in chat, Gunfox? And no, I haven't. I'm on my way to Guelph, dummy.
Okay, it's at the Denver Postal Facilities.
Oh, the Denver Postal Facility.
Wait, this is from December 24th, though. It can't be it.
New Jersey, yeah, it says New Jersey.
Yeah, let's see. And it's December 23rd. Nope. One in May. Today, Today. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm looking on CNN. I'm looking on Google. Absolutely.
In Discord, he says. Okay, but I don't see it in Discord.
In what? In your Discord?
Did you DM it to me, Gunfox, in Discord, or is it in the coffee stream room?
See if it's in your. Check your mail. That's probably where it is. I'll head over to the Nerd Sanctuary myself. Let's see. The Ready Room, Music Room, track. Clean stuff, just chilling in general VC. Nope. Here it is. Active shooter situation ends. Shots fired at New Jersey USPS facility. New Jersey police rushed to a United Parcel Service. I was doing U.S. Postal Service. Sorry about that. Facility Monday morning amid an active shooter situation, with authorities confirming to Fox News that shots have been fired. Okie dokie. And if I, let's see, UPS is working with law enforcement as they respond to an active shooter situation at one of the company's supply chain processing facilities in Logan Township, New Jersey. We cannot provide information about the identity of people involved at this time, the company said in a statement to Fox News. Video and photos from the scene show police cruisers surrounding the loading dock area of the building in Logan Township, about 20 miles south of Philadelphia. Armed officers could be seen crouching behind one of the vehicles. Let's see, New Jersey State Police said local and county authorities were responding to the incident. A modified lockdown, meaning no one can enter or leave the building, was ordered at 3 Logan Township schools following the reported active shooter.
Oh, wow.
New York City Police said they were monitoring the situation, and it's a developing story. Film at 11. So there you go. There you go.
Boyfriend took girlfriend and another person hostage. So, Mr. Misanthropic says, yep, went postal. Yeah, he did.
It's almost definition of going postal, isn't it? Snapping and then heading to work with a gun.
Yep.
And doing something crazy.
Well, let's see. What do you guys think? We'll go till 11:30, I think. So if you guys have any questions or comments.
Yeah, let's roll back through chat here, and I'm going to read, just kind of browse through chat and see if there's anything that people are asking that maybe we haven't got to. Let's see. Pinkala says that he's on his way to Guelph, Guelp. Guelph.
Guelph.
Is that where the Elvish community lives?
No. Luckily, hey, at least you didn't put. There are some Americans that will say Guelph.
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 Guelph. Let's see. Mr. Misanthropic says no robo so far. No robo is good robo, we think. There's a guy from Triwire outside my house. The power's not off. This is weird. Duck Dog reflecting on a weird situation in his life.
It's 2:45 here. Go as long as you like. Well, I do have other things that I need to do.
Yeah. Busy people. Have you got the kids today?
No, they're both. Alex is back at school. Logan's back at daycare.
So you're footloose and fancy free.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I love those boys, but it's hard when they're both home.
It's just, especially at that age, because they just don't respond to verbal instructions at all, essentially. I mean,
well, I'm trying to teach them about, I'm not, I play with them, obviously, but I'm also trying to teach them how to play with each other and, share properly. So that's fun right now, because you don't want to leave them alone too long, because they're only 4 and 2.
Yeah.
But, there's so much these days. There's so many parents now that think that they must be their child's entertainer all the time.
Helicopter parents.
And that doesn't work. It doesn't work for the parent. It doesn't work for the kid. It just doesn't work.
But it makes the parent feel good, and it destroys the child.
Yeah.
You know,
But see, it doesn't make you feel good though, because like even when you love playing, because I love playing with the kids, but sometimes it's just like I just need a break for a second, or I'm gonna snap, and that's not good for me or the kid.
no, don't snap. Snapping bad. Stay together. Stay calm.
Mr. Misanthropic says, going back to something earlier, YouTube has a working blacklist. Razor Fist did a video of him just saying blah, blah, blah for 6 minutes, and it was struck.
Yeah.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I agree that they absolutely do, because I've seen some people get put on that blacklist for relatively no reason, not really much of a reason at all, where other people are out there saying much more outrageous things, but because their point of view is, part of the favored right speak, news speak.
Sinatra is a big example of somebody who is being fucked by YouTube just
perfect
because.
Case in point.
Yeah.
Perfect case in point.
Yeah. I like Sinatra. He's
How did you discover Sinatra?
How did I discover Sinatra? I think I was listening to Pincalo and I were listening to somebody, either Bear or Monkey or somebody.
Yeah.
And I think he came up in the recommended feed.
That's exactly how I had discovered him. I was watching Bearing, and it was kind of like, hey, if you like Bearing, you might like this guy.
Yeah.
What Sinatra says.
Yeah, we discovered him around the same time that we discovered Monkey and Bear and Bearing and all that stuff.
Yeah, me too. Exactly. I discovered everybody all in one fell swoop. And I had discovered Romy Millennial when she was speaking with that young Republican group out at University of Texas at El Paso.
Oh, okay.
And that was kind of fun to see her go through that. And I thought, man, this young woman is very poised, and she might really have something going on. And turned out she sure did. And that was also how I discovered SDA.
Okay.
And independent of that, I had been watching Bearing, and Ranting Monkey came up. And after I saw one Ranting Monkey video, I said, that's the way you're supposed to do YouTube. If you're going to do the anti-SJW thing, that is simply the best right there. That, the no nonsense, here it is, here's some humor, get in, get out, kick on. And
I the video he did about don't stick your dick in crazy.
Yes.
I am going to call that video up when Alex and Logan get to be teenagers, and I'm going to make them watch it.
Yeah, I think that's an important part of their education. I think that ought to be required reading.
Because they're not going to take it from their mom, but if they take it from somebody else.
Yeah. Take it from this cartoon monkey. He knows what he's talking about. And he does. Monkey is really smart. He and SDA came on Minions last night.
Pardon? Sorry, I was listening to chat.
He and SDA came on Minions last night.
Was Monkey there too? I heard SDA, but
yeah, Monkey was there. He didn't say much. I think he was really tired, but yeah, he was there for almost as long as SDA was. And so you were listening to the stream last night?
I was listening to a bit of it. I was also had my headphones on because I was playing Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay.
And
people said I did not robot on that stream.
No, I didn't hear any roboting there either.
Well, I would love this if this is fixed. I would be so happy. I'm not ready to call it good yet. Maybe in a couple of years. If we go a couple of years without roboting, I'm going to suspect that maybe something good has happened.
Sarah says, I feel like I'm in the minority. I don't really like SDA that much. She bores me sometimes. I like SDA. I think she's she has the ability to be a very smart girl.
She's a very intelligent woman. She's
just
intelligent.
young.
Yeah,
That's all. She's just young.
Exactly.
I was an idiot when I was that age. I said shit without thinking. I still say shit without thinking. But yeah, I think
if you get to know SDA a little bit, you really begin to appreciate what a complicated and a complex and very organized person she is. She's really getting to know her is really kind of fun. It's a lot different than maybe what you might think from just watching her videos. Very, very complex mind. Much more than what people think.
Yeah.
And
that was pretty funny how people were getting summoned into the chat, says Chadwick.
Mashisu, we were all hail the power of the bunny. The bunny, her name is Bunny Girl. And we were laughing. She was at the end. She was chanting "Warski, Warski, Warski." Mundane Matt, Mundane Matt, Mundane Matt, saying the name 3 times like Beetlejuice, and they'll appear. So that's what she did with Monkey. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to DM Monkey really quick and tell him to come on. I said, come on, it'll be legendary. And he did. He's such a great sport. I really love that guy. He's
Monkey's great.
He is a great guy. He truly is and he's just as good a guy as you think he is. I mean, he's a good human being. And that's a great place to come from in the humor business, because people will trust you, and you can trust him to be rational and reasonable and to say exactly what he thinks and not be swayed by the emotion of the moment. He's really a very mature thinker, in my opinion.
Yeah,
really enjoy that. So let's see what else is going on here in chat. Gunfox and Scotsman are talking about breaking headsets.
Oh, getting Sinatra to break headsets and mics, because he has all of his sounds for Streamlabs and they're loud, and Gunfox makes them go off all the time. Because he's a beast.
Yeah.
Last night he was donating a whole bunch to say some things during our stream, and he was also trying to make Pincalo's computer explode.
Turn red and blow up.
Yeah.
That's funny. That is funny.
It was a good stream last night. I think we did had a good stream.
You're talking about your stream?
Yeah, last night.
That was a good stream. I was in chat.
Yes, you were.
I'm on so many streams. I forget which ones I've been in chat on. Used to be the only stream that I listened to was Monkey.
Yeah.
And then I found out other people stream too.
Now there's so many.
Yeah, there really are. I mean, there are probably more than there need to be. It'll shake out though. It'll shake out. Terrapin says SDA has that rich girl vibe. There's something to that. And it's a little bit of her attitude in a certain respect. She did not grow up in a dilapidated, needy environment at all. She grew up in a nice home and with a stable father and all that kind of stuff. Very
cool. Could it also be her accent though? Because I find a lot of Georgians sound like that.
Yeah, she doesn't have a super heavy accent.
She doesn't have a southern drawl, no.
She
But-
has a little bit of a clipped Georgia accent.
Yeah.
It's very Georgian. Somebody whose family comes from Texas and Alabama. You know, you become attuned to the differences between the different parts of the South. But Atlanta has become like Dallas in Texas. The Texas accents in Dallas are very light. They're almost non-existent. Dallas is such a cosmopolitan city, and well over 50% of the people in the city, were not born in Texas. When that happens, the accent begins to become very. You just don't have the deep accent from people in town. Now you get 10 miles out into the suburbs, just beyond that first ring of cities that surround Dallas, and get into the rural areas. You have that thick East Texas accent that makes you think of a televangelist.
Yeah.
And the same thing has happened with Atlanta, because there's a very cosmopolitan city. And more than half the people in Atlanta, this used to be true. I don't know if it's true now, but it was true at one time. More than half of the people there were not born in Atlanta, and some very large percentage of them were not even born in Georgia. I mean, the difference between the accent in Atlanta and, say, a place like Augusta or Savannah, Georgia, is massive. Mm-hmm. It's like they're speaking a different language. It's really amazing.
Yeah, and I would almost put SDA's accent at a cosmopolitan.
I would agree with you. I would definitely put it there. She's not. She doesn't have that drippy, long, drawled out. I think I'm going to the store today.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, exactly. It takes 10 minutes to say anything. So, anyway, but it's after 10:32 or 11:32 your time. So, are we wrapping up?
Yes, we are. I'm going to say thank you guys so much for coming out, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. And please come back tomorrow morning, where we will have another one. And thank you, Gunfox, for the news, and thank you, Pincalo, for the news, and thank you for the breaking news at the end of the stream. And we do thank you guys for helping us find things to talk about. And also, hooray for no RoboScap today.
Yay!
Like I said, hope you guys have a really good day. We will be back tomorrow at the usual time. Uh-oh.
What happened?
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought I had closed the stream before I was done talking. Sorry. Never mind. No,
You're still here.
Anyway, I hope everyone has a really good day. We'll be back tomorrow at the usual time. Stay safe out there, everyone. See you tomorrow morning.
Be careful out there.